Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, guys, to the broadcast. For those of you who are coming through for the first time, you're more than welcome. For those of you who keep coming, keep doing what you're doing. I love it. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this content. You can put on your notification bell so that you're notified each time I post a new video. So, guys, we've got a couple of South Africans who were nominated for a BET award. The category is the Best International Act. The people that were nominated is KO, Uncle Waffles, and Papi Cooper. And yeah, man, this caused some controversy amongst fellow South Africans. I think some of them were finding out for the first time that Uncle Waffles is from Swaziland. Or they knew it, but they just didn't want it to be mentioned when she's nominated for the category. Doesn't matter where she blew up, she's still a Swaziland citizen. So also, what I want to talk about is what Mac G said about it. Obviously, yesterday on his platform, Mac G was talking about celebrating the guys who have been nominated for the BET award, and he makes mention of the fact that Uncle Waffles and KO must thank Young Stunner for the nominations.
He's got a point, bro.
So
No, because
Which
KO
part?
also KO got nominated as well.
Because of Seth.
because of
Yes.
Seth,
And that's Young Stan.
yeah,
Young Stunner,
I mean,
yeah.
he
kills it there.
yeah, he killed it. He made that song.
And then Uncle Waffles Adiwele.
Adiwele, yeah.
She blew up because of Adiwele. People think it's her song.
Yes, true.
There are people who are musicians who specialize in music. There are people who specialize in business. There are people who specialize in TV presenting, radio host, and then other things come from being in that space. The fact that you reach such high levels in your sphere of influence can open other doors. For instance, there are many people who started as musicians who are actors now. There are many actors who started as actors who are singing. And there are many DJs releasing albums. And that is purely understanding business opportunities. It does not make you an expert in the field that you eventually venture into. That is a reason sometimes you find many talented musicians, when they start off, they do so well until they go independent. That person has not learned the skill of marketing, has not been networking with people that can expose his music. He doesn't have the skill, doesn't have the ability, or he has not developed that skill. He's just been working in studio, recording songs and making sure perfecting the songs, but he cannot sell himself. That is why you find that other artists cannot make it once they leave a good record label. It's like our brothers from Ethiopia who run spaza shops here in South Africa. They identify South Africans like Ikota, they make Ikota. They identify that South Africans like Millimil, they buy Millimil and sell it. That's being a businessman. But there's a difference between an innovator in something. And I'm reminded of one of September Kwayo's videos where he says that one of the most critical skills that you have to have as an entrepreneur is to be able to sell or pack and go home.
Any entrepreneur can learn is sales. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a coder, you're an engineer, you're a mechanic, you're a beer brew drafts. I don't care what you do. The single most critical skill you will learn as an entrepreneur, and it is 10 times more important than every other skill that comes after it, is sales. So if there's one excuse I never accept from entrepreneurs is I can't sell.
Yeah.
Then don't be an entrepreneur.
In line with that, I want to say people like Mac G are fans of music. I don't know if Mac G is obviously successful. I don't know if he's a musician, even though he has released some music, or a businessman or what. I'd like to call him a businessman because he started off as a TV host, then he went to radio. He identified a gap with grandeur when he was not working, and then he started this thing because he wanted to have a business for his family, and he also started podcast. But I don't know if he's an entrepreneur. I don't even know if he's a businessman, but I can say he's a businessman because for a businessman, you don't need to start anything new, really. So in light of this, I actually wanted to know for sure what is the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. I went and Googled it, and this was what I found. What is the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman? That's a question, right? An entrepreneur is an individual having an exclusive idea to establish a new venture. A businessman is an individual who establishes a business with an old business idea. And I think, when you become big from breaking through something that someone else did before you, there are people that influence Mac G to start a podcast. There are people that influence Mac G on radio. There are people that influence Mac G to start grandeur, But Mac G hasn't really come up with anything new. You can call him a businessman, but there are people who are innovators, And I would like to think KO is one of those people. So I slightly understand where Mac G is coming from. I mean, he had a big contribution in those people's careers, but you cannot say that Sete was made by Young Stunner, because if there was no KO, there would be no Sete. A lot of people underestimate the power of marketers, the power of salespeople, of people who can sell, of people who understand the industry, the ins and the outs of the industry, of people who have had experience in the industry, because you've got networks and connections, you've got understanding, you know how to refine something, you know how to package it, and all of those things. And don't underestimate the influence of KO on Sete, because he created the stage. He put those people together. That was his genius idea. He knew that if I put Young Stunner on this song, it's going to explode. So you can't say it's, KO must give credit to Young Stunner. They complemented each other. KO may... On the lyrical side, he may not have been potent as Young Stunner, but that was KO's plan. He identified the relevant people that will take the song to the next level. So if he had not thought about that, if he had not invested in that, if he had not planned that, there would be no Sete. And I think people like Nota, because when Maggie said this, he was quoting Nota. And people like Nota, I mean, don't forget, right? I'm a content creator, right? Sometimes I look for controversy because I know that's what's going to sell. That's what's going to keep people glued into what I create. And people like Nota will always speak from that perspective. He wants to talk, he wants to show himself as the authority, as somebody who knows it all, right? In the music industry. He wants to be the main influence. And in order to do that, he has to break down everything else and bring attention to himself. And I think comments like that are reckless and careless, because he really is not stupid. It sounds like somebody who's hating, if you ask me. But anyways, those are my thoughts. That being said though, Maggie did give flowers to KO for such an amazing career, for the long run that he's had in the industry. So I'm not saying he was criticizing him, but I'm just isolating one thing that he said, and I'm saying I have a problem with that. I just thought I must just comment on that. Please tell me what you think. I'm out.